Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me here today. Today I'm going to be talking about lactic acid, and if you frequent my channel at all, you all know how much I love lactic acid, and it's been about 4 years, I think, since I have done a dedicated video singing the praises about lactic acid. I think in that video I did 4 years ago, I spoke about my favorite lactic acid toners. And then in the spring of 2023, I did do an active series where I did do a video where I spoke about AHAs, and lactic acid, as most of you probably know, is an AHA or an alpha hydroxy acid. So I did do a video where I focused on vitamin C and AHA. So of course I spoke about lactic acid in that video. I also did a video in that series where I spoke about retinoids as well as, botanical alternatives to retinoids. So that basically is going to be mothbean and 𝘊�㗥𝘐𝑚. I also did another video in that active series where I spoke about nourishing actives. And I did go back this morning just to look at those 3 videos to see if I'm still using the products that I spoke about in those videos. And with very few exception, I still am really loving those products that I spoke about in that series. So I am going to go ahead and link those 3 videos down below. So if you're curious about that series, I definitely recommend checking it out. In the nourishing actives video, which is part 3 in the 3-part series, I do talk about skin cycling and using the skincare that has the nourishing actives in it on the rest days. So if you're kind of curious about that, definitely check out that video. But as I said, this video is highlighting lactic acid, which I think is probably my favorite ingredient, and let's talk about why. So as I mentioned, lactic acid is an alpha hydroxy acid, just like glycolic acid and mandelic acid. Glycolic acid is a smaller molecule than lactic acid, so it does penetrate the skin more deeply. So that is why some people will have more irritation with glycolic acid than they do with lactic acid. And then mandelic acid is a larger molecule than lactic acid. So mandelic acid is really, really great for those of you who may have very sensitive skin. Lactic acid does not tend to cause irritation for people, but of course that's going to vary from person to person. So you want to do a patch test probably on the inside of your arm if you are very sensitive, if you have had sensitivity or irritation with AHAs in the past. But going back to the discussion with alpha hydroxy acids, lactic acid is an AHA, and what AHAs do is they help remove the old skin cells that are on the surface level of your skin. And I don't have a complete understanding of the chemistry when it comes to the AHAs, but my rudimentary understanding of what it does on a chemical level, because this is a chemical exfoliant, not a physical exfoliant, is that it breaks the bonds that bind the cells together, thereby promoting skin cell renewal, and it's going to help increase cell turnover. So as I mentioned, it doesn't go as deep as glycolic acid, so it's going to be less irritating. The other thing that's really, really nice about lactic acid is it is a humectant, so it's going to have a moisturizing effect on your skin. So it's really great for dry skin. It also helps increase the production of your skin's ceramides, which I think is quite amazing. It's really great for brightening your skin. It's gonna help give your skin a very nice dewy glow. It also can help decrease hyperpigmentation. It can also help decrease fine lines. So in general, just in a nutshell, lactic acid helps brighten, it helps exfoliate, and it also helps hydrate. So that is why I just absolutely love lactic acid. Let's go ahead and jump into the products that I currently have that contain lactic acid that I have really been enjoying. I'm going to first talk about a product that's relatively new, but one that I have really been enjoying, that I have found to be very, very gentle. And this is Eadem's Cashmere Peel. This is a gentle exfoliating AHA and PHA toner. And PHA is a polyhydroxy acid, which is even larger than the AHAs. So PHAs are very, very good for sensitive skin. And the PHA in here is gluconolactone. And while it does have exfoliating activity, I don't think the exfoliating activity is super, super strong. So I do think the exfoliating activity in here is by and large going to be from the lactic acid. But anyway, the gluconolactone is going to provide some exfoliation. But I do think gluconolactone is really known for its humectant properties. So like I said, it is a humectant that is actually going to help increase cell turnover, I think probably from that exfoliation activity, and it's also going to improve skin tone. It also helps help smooth texture and also brighten your complexion. So 𝘊𝘉𝘗𝘠 is a really lovely ingredient. So I know I started talking about 𝘊𝘉𝘗 because the PHA is in the name of this product. So I just wanted to mention that real quickly because I had to re-educate myself about PHA. And like I said, you know, AHA and PHA toner is in the title. So I just wanted to mention that real quickly. But before we start talking about other ingredients, I just want to show you the bottle and also show you the dispensing mechanism. So there is no pump, there is no dropper. You just pour it out into your hand. And you can see me shaking it out here a little bit. It is a milky serum. It's kind of on that runny, liquidy side, so it is a liquid serum. Feels really nice on the skin. I did check the ingredients very, very carefully. There are no silicones in here, which I do really appreciate. It is unscented, so for those of you who like an unscented skincare product, you will also appreciate that as well. And it's also worked really well with the skincare that I've used on top of it. Now, I've only used it at nighttime because I typically use my AHA products at the nighttime. If you do use it during the daytime, you definitely want to be using a sunscreen on top because AHAs can make your skin photosensitive, so just be aware of that. So I can't speak to how foundation or sunscreen has worked for me on top of this because like I said, I've only used it at nighttime, but thus far, all the skincare I've used on top, you know, has not caused any pilling issues. Moving on to the rest of the ingredients, as I mentioned, it's got the 𝘊𝘉𝘗𝘠 in it. Of course, it's got the lactic acid in here. It also has azelaic acid, which is a lovely ingredient that I really appreciate in skincare. Azelaic acid is really great for decreasing hyperpigmentation. It is also a really great ingredient for helping to decrease irritation, inflammation, redness. So if I have a blemish that is just on the kind of like irritated side, it's kind of red, I love to put azelaic acid on top of that, and then I'll wake up in the morning and it's usually almost completely gone. So it just has a lot of really great skincare benefits, and it is a good alternative to retinoids during pregnancy. So for women who use retinoids, but they're looking for an alternative during that time, azelaic acid is something that you can use instead. So anyway, just love to see azelaic acid in here. There's also rice water, colloidal oatmeal, and then additionally, it does have tranexamic acid. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but when I've heard other people talk about this ingredient, I think they are pronouncing it tranexamic. But anyway, this acid is derived from the amino acid lysine. So it is not in that AHA, PHA category. And what this does is it also fades discoloration, evens tone, and it prevents the formation of dark spots. So not only does it help to decrease the hyperpigmentation, it also can prevent the formation of them. Now with this particular tranexamic acid, you do want to wait about 8 to 12 weeks before you're actually going to see some improvement in that discoloration. And what this acid does is it inhibits pigmentation production in the melanocytes. And it also blocks the transfer of pigment from the melanocytes to the cells in the upper layer of the skin. Obviously, the process of pigment production is very, very complex, so I'm not purporting to understand the complexity of this. There is the involvement of blood cells, epidermal cells, fibroblasts. But having said all that, tranexamic acid has been studied and it has been shown to prevent the pigment production in melanocytes. So the Cashmere Peel by Eadem is a lovely product to use. As I showed you the texture, you know I love a liquid serum. I love all of these ingredients. I love that it has the lactic acid. I especially love that it has the azelaic acid, and I have found it to be very gentle. I love incorporating it into my nighttime routine. So this has been a big win. I don't think I mentioned the price of it. It is $42. You actually do not need that much of it. A little bit goes a long way. So I do feel like this is very fairly priced and I am really enjoying it. So now we're gonna move on to a product that you have heard me talk about a lot here on my channel. So this is going to be no surprise that I am still using this, and that is the Lilfox Dewy Bean Dream. Now this is their Smoothing Night Serum, and I believe this is the most expensive product that I'm gonna be talking about here today on this video. This is $140. Very, very expensive, I know. What I personally do is I wait for the Beauty Heroes sale, or I mean, not the Beauty Heroes sale. They have several sales throughout the year where you can get 20% off. But I will say that this bottle lasts me for a very long time. I've mentioned this before in the past. Well, let me just go ahead and show you what a couple pumps looks like. So you'll see that this too is kind of a runny serum. Hopefully you just saw that. But you'll see this runniness of it, like a liquid gel. So those 2 pumps are more than enough to cover my entire face. And I hardly ever use more than 2 pumps. I mean, sometimes I will use 3 pumps if I'm really feeling like I want to be a little bit more aggressive with the exfoliation that I might need, but I almost always use 2 pumps. And I typically use this every 4th night, and I explain my skin cycling in that Nourishing Actives video, so if you want to hear more about that, do go check out that video. But anyway, like I said, I use this about every 4th night, so 2 pumps every 4th night. I can't say exactly how long it takes me to get through one of these, but I would say maybe between, I don't know, 8 to 10 months. So this lasts me a really long time, and I just find it to be completely worth it. So that's all I'm gonna say when it comes to the price. It's up to you to decide if you feel like it's worth it. But let's go ahead and start talking about the ingredients. Now, of course, it has lactic acid, or it would not be in this video. So lactic acid, love that it has lactic acid. Now this has glycolic acid in it as well. So as I mentioned, that is the smallest AHA. So it is going to go deeper into the skin. It's not as superficial as the lactic acid. So if you do find that you are a little bit more sensitive to AHAs, this might not be for you. Now, I have had some sensitivity to glycolic acid products in the past. I have never had an issue with this one. Now, I do think in terms of glycolic acid and me, it does depend upon the formulation. Sometimes glycolic acid causes me some irritation on a very rare occasion, but like I mentioned with this one, it is absolutely lovely and I find it to be very, very gentle. This also has niacinamide in it. It has a aloe leaf juice base as well as some glycerin in there, so it just feels very lovely, very nourishing, very hydrating. And then as far as the scent goes, it kind of has like a sharp kind of green type of scent to it, very leafy. And I think that is also because there is some violet leaf in here. So the scent for me, I personally really love. Now I know that the Lilfox scents in general do tend to be quite aromatic and they can be quite strong. So some of them I really do love, some of them I really don't love, but this one I really, really love. I can't tell you how many bottles I have gone through of this. I'm gonna hazard a guess and maybe say 4 to 5, but I have not gotten that scent fatigue yet, and I hope I never do because it works so well for me. But yeah, I really love that leafy violet kind of scent. I like the green scent that this provides. I can still smell the product on my hand. I would say maybe it takes about 15-20 minutes for it to dissipate. Now this is a product I only use at nighttime. Again, you know, this is called the Dewy Bean Dream, with the name suggesting that you should be using this at nighttime, which I would agree with unless you want to use it during the day. Make sure you're using your sunscreen. But anyway, what I was saying is with the scent, I don't ever recollect going to bed feeling like I can still smell it on my skin while I am trying to go to sleep. And I don't particularly like going to bed and feeling like I can still smell the skincare on my skin. It's a pretty rare exception that I don't mind smelling my skincare on my skin. So anyway, enough talk about the scent. And I can't believe I forgot to mention that, this is also in the name Dewy Bean. The Dewy Bean in the name of this product is talking about moth bean. They call it dew bean. Most of you might be familiar with it as the moth bean. So what moth bean is, people are talking about moth bean for a long time now as the retinol alternative. And that is because it is a vitamin A rich legume, which is going to help with cellular renewal, help to boost collagen. It's going to help decrease fine lines, boost elasticity. So because it has all of those actions, which are very, very similar to what retinols do, green beauty brands, clean beauty brands, whatever you want to call them, have taken to calling it a botanical retinol alternative. And if you want to hear more of a discussion about that in that actives series that I did, like I said, I do have a video dedicated to the retinoid actives as well as the botanical retinol actives that I was using. Like I said, I think it was back in the spring of 2023. So if you want to hear more about that, do go check out that video, which I will have linked down below. So let's move on to a few more of these products that do have lactic acid in them. One that is maybe going to be a little bit of a surprise to you, which was a bit of a surprise to me, is the Alpyn Beauty Vitamin C and Bearberry Instant Glow Serum. So this does not have lactic acid as, it's not promoted as one of the ingredients in here, but it is in here. And I have really been liking this product as a lotion serum. Now in my video of my favorites from, let's see, it was July and August, I spoke about the vitamin C serum from Sunday Riley, which, like this one, is more of a lotion serum. So for those of you who aren't huge fans of Sunday Riley, or you find Sunday Riley to be too expensive, this is a great alternative to that product. And this has ethyl ascorbic acid, so that's the vitamin C ester in here. This has bakuchiol in it, bearberry, also known as 𝘊𝘓𝘗𝘕, and then of course it has the lactic acid in here as well. And this also has azelaic acid. So you don't see azelaic acid and lactic acid being front and center, when it talks about their hero ingredients, but they are in here. And the texture of this, I'm gonna call it a lotion, even though they are calling it the Instant Glow Serum. The texture is really, really lovely. Very much like that Sunday Riley lotion serum, it does provide a good deal of moisture on the skin. So if you have normal to oily skin, this could just be your moisturizer for sure. If you're like me and you lean a little bit more normal to dry, in the summertime, this could just be my moisturizer in and of itself, and then put a tinted moisturizer on top, and then I could be out the door. So I really like this. I've been enjoying it so much, and I was just so thrilled to find out that it had lactic acid in it. And for those of you who like beautiful flower extracts or herbal extracts in your skincare, this has borage flower extract in it, calendula extract, chamomile and arnica extracts in it. So it's just a really beautiful product. And I think I forgot to mention the price. This is $59, so it's not on the cheap side, but it's definitely a lot less expensive than the Sunday Riley one. And I do actually have a code with Alpyn Beauty, so you can check that out down below. So that helps decrease the price even more. So this is one that I really do recommend. It has a really nice kind of subtle berry scent. I've noticed that a lot of the Alpyn Beauty products do have a very subtle berry scent, which I really, really like. I've mentioned before that it's not like a candy, sweet, kind of juvenile berry scent. It's much more sophisticated and it's pretty, but it is on the sophisticated side. So it's a scent that I really, really enjoy. Now, there are two lactic acid products that are on my wish list that I just want to mention really quickly because I don't have them and I can't believe I don't have this one particular product. It's the 𝘊𝘌𝘈𝘗𝘠𝘍 Exfoliating Serum. I used to have it. I had it about 4 years ago, but this was before the reformulation. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think when I had it years ago before the reformulation, I don't think the original version had lactic acid, but the new version does. And I don't know why I haven't tried this, because the ingredients just look like something that was just created for me. It's $44 for 30 mils. It's oil-free. It's also essential oil-free for those of you who might be irritated by essential oils in your skincare. So this has lactic acid in it as well as moth bean. So two of my favorite ingredients. It's in an aloe and green tea hydrosol base. So you will have that scent of green tea in here. There's also wild pansy and marshmallows. So some beautiful herbal flower extracts in here. So I have to get this. I think I'm going to get this very, very soon, because like I said, for some reason, this just kind of escaped me. I think I spoke about this in one of my, I think in that actives video where I was talking about lactic acid. I think I mentioned this, and then I think it just sort of like left my mind. So I need to get this. And then I think during the Sephora sale, I'm going to put this on my wish list. This is the Shani Darden Lactic Acid Exfoliating Serum. This has 9% lactic acid with also the PHA, the 𝘊𝘉𝘗𝘏. It also has aloe and green tea in it. This is a little more expensive. It's $89, so I think I might wait till the sale comes around, or just at least put it on my wish list. So those are two products I definitely want to check out. And then I'm just gonna end with a couple of body products. This is the Paula's Choice Exfoliate. This is $37, but when I was on their website last night, they are having 20% off. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but right now it's I think it's $29.60. But anyway, this is made for the face, but I have been using it on my body. Now, this has 6% mandelic acid, 2% lactic acid. It also has yarrow extract as well as a fermented blend of antioxidants, which is cherry blossom and bayberry. Now it kind of has a funky scent. I don't know if I love the scent, so I have been using it on my body. As I mentioned in my empties video, I absolutely love the Rose MD, what is it, their Superfruit Exfoliating Toner. I love that for my body. I use that on the backs of my legs after I shave. So since I'm out of that, and basically what the backstory is, I purchased this for my younger son and he just never used it. So since I have this, I don't want it to go to waste. So like I said, I've been using this as a body exfoliator. I might try this on my face just to see how it works. I'm sure it's totally fine. I'm just a little bit turned off by the scent. So I don't know, we'll see if I end up using this on my face, but I do have it on hand. It's got lactic acid in it. I have been using it on my body, so I thought I would go ahead and mention it in this video. And then last but not least, I have another Eadem product that I have really been enjoying. This is their Smooth Slate Ingrown Relief Serum, and this is $36. And what this is, it's a stick that you can use for the areas on your body that tend to get ingrown hairs, but you can actually use this on your face. So it's just a brilliant product, I think. They do recommend waiting 24 hours after waxing or shaving and then apply it to clean and dry skin. I actually did not see that recommendation until I was reviewing, ingredients and directions and everything in preparation for this video. I think when I shaved my bikini line a couple weeks ago, I think I applied this right away. I didn't wait for 24 hours and I didn't have any problems with it. So that's just been my personal experience. I think they're saying that because for people who might be super sensitive to AHAs, you might need to wait that full 24 hours before applying this, but I didn't have any issues. So do what you will with that information. Their recommendation is to wait 24 hours after waxing or shaving before applying this. Now, of course, this does have lactic acid. It also has the mandelic acid in it. It also has azelaic acid, which I love, and they've got it in here because it's going to help fade post-inflammatory dark spots. And then it also has yellow daffodil extract, which apparently helps slow hair growth. And this is in a base of shea butter and sunflower seed wax. And then as far as the scent goes, there is a little bit of a citrusy scent, and I would say that it feels to be very lime forward. So if you were to pick out a citrus in here, for me personally, it does feel very lime, and maybe a little bit of the bergamot shines through, but mostly the lime. And it's going to be very hard for me to show you the texture of this. I mean, I can go ahead and just rub it on just to kind of show you. It's very slick, very smooth, I think you might be able to see a little bit of that kind of like glowiness there. But when I used it on my bikini line and then I got dressed afterwards, I didn't feel like it transferred at all onto my clothes. And they do say on the website that it does not transfer, and that was my personal experience. And I just really liked using it. I felt like it applied very easily. It didn't irritate my skin at all. I think it's a brilliant delivery system in terms of using this type of exfoliating product on your body, and in particular on the bikini line. And yeah, I just think it's really great. You can use it anywhere on your body. Like I said, you could actually use it on your face if you really wanted to. For me, I don't think I'm going to, because I think it's just going to be dedicated for my bikini line. But I also think that for me, the scent just might not be exactly what I want to have on my face. But anyway, you can use it on your face if you want to. So that does it for the products that I am currently using that contain lactic acid. I think the Lilfox Dewy Bean Dream is the only one that I have that I've been using for so long. So as you guys know, I just can't recommend this one highly enough. It's just been a staple of mine for so long now. And then the rest are basically new to my collection, and I can't say enough good things about them, except for, I guess, the Paula's Choice. This is sort of a little bit of a middle of the road one. I don't know if I strongly recommend this one or not. This is just something I'm using up and just kind of experimenting with for the time being. Really, really strongly recommend the Eadem ones. And in general, with this brand, I've been impressed by everything. I've been using their 𝘊�ㄛ𝘐𝑚 lip balm, which is exfoliating because it does have lactic acid in it. I really enjoy that product as well. So in general, I've just been super impressed with Eadem. And then also high praise for the Alpyn Beauty Vitamin C Glow Serum, which obviously contains lactic acid. So I hope you enjoyed this roundup and this focus on lactic acid and why I love it so much. If you did like this video, please do give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.